The Winter Offensive update was the final update for Battlefield 6 Season 1, and that will last for the next 6 weeks. But it left me wondering, what are we getting after Battlefield 6 Season 1 next year? We do have some leaks to talk about today in this video. If you guys are still following Battlefield 6, likes and subscriptions are highly appreciated for an exclusive Battlefield channel. Thank you so much. Now let's head into these leaks. The first and the juicy leak is from Temporal, a famous Battlefield data miner, and we're getting 4 new weapons in Battlefield 6 Season 2 if we are to believe these leaks. The first one is gonna be an LMG MG5, and it looks pretty freaking awesome. I was a big enjoyer of the little brother, I guess, of the MG5, the MG4 in Battlefield 4. I was a menace running that thing over on Locker and Metro when I did play infantry maps here and there in that game. The next weapon we have here is the Brand 2, and it seems to be some type of an assault rifle, maybe a carbine. I'm unfamiliar with this weapon, so you're gonna have to correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong. Hopefully it's gonna be a hard-hitting weapon. Something I noticed in Battlefield 6, at least with the assault rifles, we're kind of lacking, the big heavy hitter assault rifles, if it makes sense. Yes, we have the AK-4D, which is basically the G3A3 from the previous games, but I really don't like that gun in Battlefield 6. And the SCAR option we do have as an assault rifle is of course the SCAR L from the previous Battlefield games, which only does 25 damage per bullet. So I'm looking for some high caliber assault rifle maybe to grace us with its presence in Battlefield 6 Season 2. The next set of weapons we might be getting is the Scorpion Evo 3 and the Scorpion VZ61. I'm familiar with both of these weapons. Scorpion Evo E3 I've used a lot in Battlefield 4. It came as CZ3A1, or I believe it was at least a variant of that weapon, which you could sometimes run as Engineer. I used to play this gun in the comp scene as Engineer on Zavod before that weapon was banned. Crazy gun. Hopefully it's gonna be that variant of that family. And then we have the Scorpion VZ61, which appears to be maybe a sidearm. I believe I played some games many years ago, maybe like 10-15 years ago. It could have been maybe Call of Duty, maybe it was Battlefield. It was so long ago where I used this weapon as a sidearm. So maybe it's returning as a sidearm in Battlefield 6 as well, but it could also be just a full blown, SMG along with the Scorpion Evo 3. So those might be the potential weapons in Season 2. Now I want to make something clear with everybody. We're not gonna get these weapons immediately in one update. Of course, they're just gonna separate everything and we're gonna get one weapon by one weapon per every month. As you know, Battlefield 6 seasons are kind of divided into these phases. So in phase 1, we're gonna get MG5, let's say. In phase 2, which is gonna be month 2 of Season 2, we're gonna get the Brand and then the Scorpion. I know it sucks, guys, but this is basically how live service works, unfortunately. If they gave us all these weapons at once, they would basically have no more content left for Season 2. So they're gonna, slowly drip feed us all these weapons. Either way, I believe these weapons are gonna be a good addition to Battlefield 6, and hopefully we see all of them being also usable rather than just being niche weapons. Along with the 4 weapons, we are also getting 4 gadgets. The first one is Zish G1 Frag Airburst Grenade Launcher. Chambered in 40mm grenades, this weapon fires frag grenades that can explode mid-flight to eliminate targets behind cover. This is of course nothing new for the Battlefield franchise. We had this in Battlefield 4, we had it in Battlefield 2042, so now it's returning in this game as well. I'm a little bit on the fence about having Airburst in Battlefield 6. I believe the maps are already kind of congested, if I make sense. The time to action is extremely fast, so having Airburst into the mix there, I'm not sure. But it could also be used to flush out campers, so I guess we're just gonna have to see how it plays out if it comes to the game. The second gadget is also a grenade launcher, a sticky grenade launcher, GL40 Sticky. Chambered in 40mm sticky grenades, it can adhere to surfaces, vehicles or soldiers, can be carried standalone or under slang. If this is coming for the support class or assault, I guess this is gonna be their option to deal with vehicles if you so like. I'm not sure how I feel about this one as well. Both the Airburst and the sticky grenade launcher seem to be, well, I'm just gonna say it, they seem to be pretty cancerous. Hopefully they're gonna be balanced correctly in Battlefield Labs before they actually hit Season 2, if we're gonna get them in the first place. Then we have a new anti-vehicle grenade launcher, the M320A1AT. This is gonna be the M320 we have in Battlefield 4, which was the big battle pickup on some maps. This version is just gonna be the anti-tank version of it. Who is gonna have this? Most likely the Engineer. It could be useful actually on some maps like Siege of Cairo or maybe a Veteran Offensive, maps which are kind of more congested than, let's say, Liberation Peak or the other maps, where you definitely need to have a bit more longer range option for your anti-vehicle launchers. However, if this grenade launcher does solid damage against the vehicles and it has, standard 6 grenades in its mag, it could be pretty devastating on some of those maps. And then finally we have another grenade returning from Battlefield 4, the RGO Impact Grenade, a fragmentation grenade that provides a quick explosion at the cost of less damage, detonates on contact. If you ever played Battlefield 4, I'm sure you died a lot to the Ergo Impact Grenade, so this is returning as well, and I'm actually okay with having an Impact Grenade in Battlefield. I think it's no big deal. So that's gonna be the content when it comes down to weapons and the gadgets. Now let's get into the vehicles. Rejoice if you're a pilot, because we do have some solid evidence suggesting that the Little Bird is gonna return in Season 2. We of course know from the Battlefield 6 campaign that the Little Bird model is present in the files of the game already, so I'm assuming that it's not gonna be that difficult for the developers to just copy paste that model into the multiplayer, in labs at least, and then try to, make the helicopter work in labs, make it balanced before it hits live clients in Season 2. The helicopter might come as follows, with primary, secondary, and equipment slots for the vehicle upgrades. So you can run maybe the minigun, Hellfire rockets or Hydra rockets, and maybe flares, thermal smoke, or motion sensor. I'm not sure why would a Little Bird have thermal smoke. Is there going to be maybe some launcher in the game that's going to require the air vehicles to have smoke or whatever? I'm not sure. This could also just be, leak being a little bit incorrect. As a passenger in the Little Bird, you might have access to the thermal scanner and directional jammer. So this time around, maybe you're not just gonna be a repair monkey hanging off the side of the helicopter. You're actually gonna have some buttons to press, which I think is pretty cool. Hopefully the Little Bird helicopter is also gonna have some solid physics that it comes with. I think the reason that people enjoyed the Little Bird helicopter in Battlefield 4 so much, other than it being so overpowered, is because it was rather fun to play, in my opinion. And trust me, this comes from somebody who is a landlubber, really, truly a landlubber. I never go into the air vehicles. When I did fly in the Little Bit here and there just for fun, yeah, it felt pretty good. So hopefully they can replicate some of those physics. But if I'm gonna judge them by the physics of the current air vehicles, I would say don't, make high hopes for the Little Bit helicopter being, as agile or smooth to fly like in Battlefield 4. Most likely it's gonna be more like Battlefield 2042 Little Bird. Now this next vehicle is definitely no Little Bird. It's only a freaking jet ski, and it might come in Season 3 according to Temporal. What this could mean, of course, is that we might get some maps which have some freaking water in them, which could signal that potentially, maybe not in Season 3, but in Season 4 or 5, or later down the year in 2026, we might actually get naval warfare maps and vehicles to boast with them, which I think is very good. I'm gonna address the big elephant in the room, of course. Wait a minute, so what about the maps? I didn't see you mention any new maps coming with Season 2. Well, currently we don't have any leaks or any data mines for any new maps coming in the Battlefield 6 Season 2, but I wouldn't be too concerned just yet. Battlefield 6 seasons are prepared in tandem with the game. This is what live service content is implying. So I'm pretty positive we're gonna see at least 2 new maps like we did in Season 1. Usually these games follow the same concepts they had before. So for Season 1 they had 4 phases, and in Season 2 we're most likely gonna have 4 phases as a minimum, I would assume. Rather than seeing just 2 new maps being released, I want to see them start to rework some of the existing maps in Battlefield 6, which in my opinion just have not so very good flow and are not very fun to play. I think New Sobek City qualifies for a rework. Wouldn't you agree, guys? I mean, the map isn't very fun to play, at least in my opinion, in Breakthrough, Conquest, or Escalation. I think it's okay in Domination in some, very, very scarce scenarios, but I believe the map is deserving a full-blown rework. So in tandem with having new map releases, I would like to see per Season 2 map reworks. They don't have to be huge reworks, but just some adjustments to, how the points are flowing, how big the map is, or how small it is in some cases. I want to see those things adjusted. And so far, they haven't really done anything with the map reworks. Yes, they have adjusted some points on the maps, like on Breakthrough, they adjusted the capture areas, and small quick fixes. No, this is not what I mean, guys. I want them to go into the Frostbite map editor and fix the maps there. This is what I want to see. We do know that, for example, they have some developers returning to Battlefield 6 to work on it again. For example, the guy who made the Battlefield 6 Siege of Cairo map is returning to now oversee, I guess, some map making. So hopefully that guy, many people believe that Siege of Cairo is the best map in Battlefield 6, can somehow impact reworking of New Sobek City. I would say even Mirac Valley could use a rework, if you ask me. Not as big as New Sobek City, but still, I believe the map has glaring issues. So I want to see them start tackling those things as well. If they go that route, I believe Season 2 would actually be packed with content for us, real content. We will have new maps, and older maps would potentially get better. I think this is something that is really worth getting excited for if it's gonna happen that way. Of course, only time will tell. And with that being said, guys, that basically sums up today's video on Battlefield 6. If you enjoyed watching it, then please consider leaving a like and a subscription. Thank you so much for watching once again. I hope you had fun, and I'll see you guys in the next Battlefield 6 video. This is Ace signing out. Peace.